are a lot of them are watered down from a time when they didn't have all the pieces that they have now. Mm-hmm. I do think the headline is, though, that D-line against the Chiefs O-line, offense of Chiefs against defense of the Niners. And if one of them has a big day, I do think that's game over. I expect them more to trade blows, for there to be a big sack, to kill a drive by the Niners, for there to be a big play over the top by the Chiefs to get 7 points, for them to trade blows, but at the end of the day, to be fairly even. I think the Chiefs' defense actually allowed 2 less points than the Niners. It's not getting its credit. That's with all those injuries.
Yeah. Right.
I think they can play better. The Niners' offense scored 28 more points than the Chiefs. They're better than people think. That side of the ball, I think, might be what determines it. And if they play it even, which I think they can, it'll come down to special teams, right? And no one wants to talk about it. It's not a big subject. But the Chiefs have the best special teams coordinator in the history of the NFL. Dave Toub was the guy who coordinated for Devin Hester. But we tried to look it up one time. He's had like 30 guys return kicks for touchdowns.
Wow.
He is the best. Stops with the Bears, the Eagles, the Chiefs. And somebody quantified it, like the 25 best special teams of all time, 7 of the 25 were Dave Toub special teams for 3 different franchises. So that would seem to give them an edge, except they have sucked this year on special teams. It almost killed them against Houston. Block punt, muff punt. Against the Titans, they lost that game. They had they gave up a fumble for a touchdown, but they also missed an extra point, had a muff snap for a field goal, and had a field goal blocked in that game. For whatever reason, what has been their absolute bonus, their strength, has not been there all year. And if it victimizes them in this game, they will lose.
It is funny to me that D. Ford, who had the boneheaded play last year to kill the Chiefs, now on the other side with a chance to, again, prevent the Chiefs from winning the Super Bowl.
Yes, by playing well. And, that's a sore spot because San Francisco says, well, he's doing what we want. We want an upfield rusher. That's what we need him to be. Straight upfield rusher. He does a great job of it. And, it's like, okay, I got that. But, you paid $87 million to give up a second-round pick for the guy, and he's played 11 games, started 2, and only has 6.5 sacks, which that was D4 for 4 years in Kansas City. Contract year, he played 16, had 13.5 sacks, and was a different guy. He is an up-the-field rusher, and that is it. There's no secondary move. There's no Dwight Freeney spin move. It's just an up-the-field. And it's not DT, but you're kind of like, that's kind of Derek Thomas-ish in how quick he gets off the ball and gets up the field. But that's it. And set the edge on the run, I'll set a better edge than D Ford. I mean, it's non-existent. And the 49ers got him, they went, whoa, he is a situational guy, man. That's just what he is. And so if he has a big day, it is going to kill Chiefs fans because there are a lot that still hold him accountable for not making it, even though the players haven't said that, other than Frank Clark, who's really gone after him, who wasn't even there.
That's what's funny. The one guy who's outspoken is the guy who replaced him.
It's he keeps getting the questions about wearing 55 and all that. And he's like, the ball's right there. I'm not going to line up off sides. So he's been pretty vocal, but it is irony at its best that D Ford versus the Chiefs here in the big game.
So what's your score prediction?
I'm going to go 34-28. Enough to make it. I think it'll be within a score most of the game. If it's going to get out of hand, they usually get out of hand with defensive scores or special teams. So those are always the wild cards in it. But this Chiefs defense is better than it's been all year. With Chris Jones healthy and where they're playing, this Chiefs defense is I think, ready to play well. The 49ers offense is better than people think, and the Chiefs offense can move on anybody. So I think, the over is probably the safest play. But give me the Chiefs and give me them to cover.
Do you get a ring then?
I don't. I wish. Maybe they should. For all the time I spent talking about him, I should get an honorary ring.
I mean, again, you're talking to Mahomes every week. You're Mahomes guy.
I did it. I point out his flaws. He loves it.
Shoot, all those long-suffering Chiefs fans should get rings. They all
That's
should
right.
get rings.
50 years, for God's sake. Absolutely.
Seren, always good to see you, man.
Always my pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys.
I hope they get it because I hope Andy Reid gets it, and I think it'd be great for you as well. So,
Forget about me. Just for Patrick Mahomes, the kids work for it so hard. He deserves it. Andy Reid deserves it. The organization, the fans of Kansas City deserve it. So that means I think we are the sentimental favorite.
No question.
Wine and cheese, San Francisco. They don't need another championship.
No.
3 from the Giants this decade. 4 or 5 from the Warriors. To hell with them.
Yeah, they don't need anything out there.
We'll take it.
Them and Boston don't need any more championships anyway.
They're done.
Thanks, Seren. Appreciate it, man.
See you, Eli.
That's Seren Petro joining us here on Radio Row from WHB in Kansas City. Before we get out of here for the hour, I do want to tell you about East Coast Wings and Grill. As far as places to go watch the game, You're not going to find a better one. They've got TVs everywhere for you to watch the game. They've got great drink choices, great beer selection, including during the game on Sunday. They will have $10 buckets of both Coors Light and Miller Lite, plus great food like the wings, 60 different flavors of wings to choose from, all fresh, never frozen food. Beyond the wings, you got burgers and flatbreads, all kinds of different items on the menu there at East Coast Wings and Grill. So go check them out for the big game on Sunday. They are located in Bartlett, just off Highway 64. It is next to the Lowe's there, and that's where you'll find them, East Coast Wings and Grill.
Former Memphis Tigers running back Patrick Taylor getting ready for the NFL Draft. He joins us next from Radio Row in Miami. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56. That's AM 560, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/search. That's ZipRecruiter.com/search.
If you've always thought, hey, I'd look pretty good in Lexus, well, guess what? Lexus thinks so, too. Lexus is offering you the Golden Opportunity Sales Event. Great offers on all 2020 models and special lease options. Drive in luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by Lexus of Memphis, 2600 Ridgeway, and put yourself in the driver's seat of an all-new 2020 flagship LS500. Hey, you look pretty good there. Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event at Lexus of Memphis. Experience amazing.
Play here.
Tyree pulls for a three. Good! What a bucket! A three in transition. Dunked by Buffin. Oh my goodness! Yeah! Now Schuler fires a three. Good! DeMarte Schuler with a dagger.
Catch the action all season long on your exclusive home for the Rebels.
Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
You'll see the dedication.
Hey, Eli.
In every single step. You'll see it in the smiles. When smiles are hard to get, you'll see
Gabe, Patrick is here, ready to go. So he can bring it. Greg can bring it back and do his FedEx and all that, and then I'll then go and throw it to me.
Okay.
Wolf Chase Lemon Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics.
Hey, listen, if we go to like 15 and we're done with Patrick, go right to Ryan Fitzpatrick. It's 9 minutes. We can do that, then take a break, then have service.
You can call them today at 901-507-7821.
Patrick with you right now?
Yeah, he's here.
On Highway 64.
He's got a headset on and everything?
Yeah, that's Gabe.
Of course that's Gabe. What's up,
Jackson,
Pat?
Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900. Or visit them on the web at wolfchaselemonbrace.com.
Maybe I should have, Gabe, should I ask Patrick for a Gabe story off the air so we can actually get a good one?
You can ask on the air or off the air. I know he won't. You know, I know he's got
Gabe's a great guy. Daytime walk-in care, and you don't need an appointment. If you've got
I'm not worried about Pat like I was about Joey.
Sprain, strain, you can walk into any of their 5 convenient locations Monday through Friday from 8 until 4. There's no long wait you have to put up with the ER. And those doctors are really good, but they're not orthopedists. They're not world-renowned orthopedists who have come up with different procedures.
We originally were going to get
everywhere in the world, and I'm not.
Daryl was going to be here today, and we were going to try because we had him scheduled right before you, and I was like, that'd be perfect. We could cross over, get you both on for a little bit, but then they said he couldn't make it or whatever. So
South Haven, downtown at the Med Center, or even the Campbell Clinic Spine Center in Cordova. Now, if you've got something pressing, you got to go to work, and you can bear the pain until the evening. There's Campbell Clinic After Hours. That's Monday through Thursday from 5 to 8 in Germantown, South Haven, even Saturday morning in Germantown. If you're injured, don't wait. Visit Campbell Clinic Walk-in Care or Campbell Clinic After Hours.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56,
right.
96.1 and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also keep up to date with everything going on by keeping up with Sports 56 on social media. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch for information on breaking news, chances to win prizes, and video of all the shows. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 on social media. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is also brought to you by Gold Strike Casino and Resort in Tunica. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour number 2 of our program here on this final day of January. Greg Gaston, Gabe Kuhn in the Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road. That's just north of I-40. Sports 56 Middays is delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor, the great folks at FedEx. We can't thank them enough for being a part of our show every single day. No matter what stage you're at in your business, there's room to grow online. Learn more at fedex.com/e-commerce. And the second hour of the program also brought to you by the Gold Strike Casino Resort and the Moneyline Book Bar and Grill. Eli Savoie joining us from the Miami Beach Convention Center, Radio Row, and a very familiar face has joined you.
That's right. The former Memphis Tiger running back getting ready for the NFL draft now and making his rounds here on Radio Row today. It is Patrick Taylor. What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
So I was just told you're enjoying this, huh?
Yeah, I'm enjoying this little hectic process of being on Media Row and seeing all these, famous people walking around here. It's casual.
It's a little weird to get used to, isn't it? We were just sitting here, like Donovan McNabb sitting right over here, and you just start like, wow, this is pretty crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So what's it been like so far for you as you're working out and starting to get ready for the draft?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a fun process overall. I'm training at Exos in Frisco, and I mean, it's been a really good time, and I mean, I've been working hard and grinding on my craft and trying to get the best I can and be the best I can be for the combine.
Hey, Patrick, Greg Gaston back in Memphis. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I hope you're enjoying it. It's a lot of fun, Radio Row, and I know you're getting ready, as you said, for the draft. What specifically are you I'm sure you're working on everything, but what do you think specifically you need to improve to have your stock rise higher?
I definitely think I need to run a good 40 time to have my stock rise higher. So I feel like I've been working really hard with that with Brent Calloway at Exos, and he's been helping me on my speed. So I feel like that's the biggest thing I need to show scouts and coaches.
What is the number, like if for a 40 that you feel like with your size and everything else, what's that number that you need to run?
Either a high 4.4 or a low 4.5.
Where are you, like when you've ran the 40 in the past, where have you been?
So I did my my baseline when I first got there, and it was a 4.64.
Okay.
So Brent Calloway is helping me get that down, and I ran that at 228. So I'll be running that probably at 220.
220. I was going to ask you what you want, like your playing weight. What is that for?
My playing weight is around that 220, 225 range.
So the season past, your final season at Memphis certainly was a spectacular season for the team. For you personally, it didn't go exactly the way you had planned because of the injury, but the way you battled back, the perseverance, I mean, it said an awful lot because I got to be honest with you, most of us thought, Patrick, after game in, game out, you were missing the games while you were rehabilitating. There was no way Patrick Taylor was going to come back and play. Not only do you come back and play, you play in the Cotton Bowl. So I think it showed a lot to everybody. How hard was that to battle back to be able to play?
I mean, it was definitely a struggle. It was definitely tough on me. And at the end of the day, I knew I wasn't doing it alone. I wasn't by myself. I had my family with me. I had my teammates, had my coaches, all in my corner. Just trying to help me get back to where I wanted to be. It was extremely unfortunate for me to have that injury in the first game of the season. Man, I surely was thinking like, man, no way this happened. But now that I think back on it, I think it was a blessing in disguise. It opened up a lot of doors for a lot of other guys like Antonio Gibson, Colin Watkins, and Kenny Gainwell. So, I mean, I'm thankful for having to go through that because at the end of the day, it made me a stronger man because of it. And I feel like, God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. And I don't feel like what I went through was a mistake. So I'm grateful for going through that.
It's and I was talking with Lee Steinberg, your agent, the other day, and he talked about like in one way it's kind of less wear on the tires. I mean, you don't take all those hits, and the thing is, there's still plenty of tape on you out there because I mean people forget the year before because of what Darrell Henderson did, the type of year you had that year when you went well over 1,000 yards.
Right. So
it's so I mean so you feel, where do you feel right now, or do you have any idea of when talking about like where you feel like you might be in the draft?
I mean, I have no idea where I might fall in the draft. At the end of the day, I just want an opportunity to showcase my ability, being able to show that I belong in the league and that I'll be there for a long time.
Last year, it was Darrell Henderson and Tony Pollard, and this year, yourself and Antonio Gibson hoping to be drafted, and I would expect that there's a good chance you both will. What does that say about this Memphis program? Not only producing running backs and wide receivers in the NFL, but really anybody who comes to Memphis with talent certainly has an opportunity to play at the next level. It's been proven.
Yeah, I mean, here at Memphis, I mean, it's grit and grind, and we grind every day when we're there. I mean, it's everybody's aspiration and goal to go on to play at the next level. And we know at the end of the day at Memphis, nothing's going to be given to us. Nobody gives us the respect that we deserve, but that's why we have to go earn their respect in our play and things like that. And I feel like we've done that over the past years with Paxton Lynch and Riley Ferguson, Anthony Miller, Jannard Avery.
Yeah.
The list goes on with guys who've came to that to Memphis and showcased their ability and showed that you can make it out of Memphis.
Going back, when you were coming out of high school, what made you choose Memphis? Other than, I mean, Gabe Kuhn was there to block for you. I mean, that's clearly was the main reason. Once you put that aside,
come on.
What was the reason that you chose Memphis?
That was his only reason, Eli. And he knows it. We all know it.
I mean, I saw Gabe Kuhn on the line, and I was like, yeah, I got to come there. But so I was committed to Colorado coming out of high school. It was my whole senior year, and Coach Dickey, he stayed on me, and Coach Norvell ended up getting the job at Memphis, and they continued to pursue me in recruiting, and I ended up taking an official to Memphis, and I just fell in love with the place. I went on into the Liberty Bowl. It was cold. I remember there was still ice on the field, and I looked up in the stadium, and I said, yeah, I can see myself playing here. And Coach Norvell, he was an honest man. I mean, he told me that he would use me in his offense and how he would use me in the offense, and he did just that and then some. So I'm forever grateful for him.
You got your family here with you, so I mean, to get experiences like this and be able to have your family here, how cool is that?
Yeah, I mean, it's extremely amazing to have my family here experiencing this, and I mean, it's just stuff that we talked about while I was young, being able to experience things like this and get an opportunity to play in the NFL, get an opportunity to get drafted, get an opportunity to go to the combine. for them to experience this is just amazing, and so I'm thankful for it.
Patrick, who have you run into on Radio Row as far as the current greats or former greats that has really impressed you? And also, who do you love as a player currently in the NFL that you really enjoy watching and maybe even emulate your style after?
Okay, so I'm going to first tell you who I ran into. It's a lot now. Okay. First, I ran into Terrell Davis. I saw Terrell Davis.
Yep.
Wow.
I saw Brian Westbrook. I saw Brett Favre. I saw Kevin Hart. I saw Leonard Fournette. I saw DeAndre Hopkins. I saw Von Miller. I saw Derrick Henry. I saw Taysom Hill. Matter of fact, there's Taysom Hill right there. But I try to model my game after Adrian Peterson and Frank Gore. And I really like David Johnson as well. So I try to model my games after those guys.
That's some pretty good ones to model your game after.
Yeah.
they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Those guys were. Frank Gore's had a pretty good career.
Yeah.
So what do you do now the rest of your time here in Miami?
Steinberg, they have a bunch of events that they're putting on tonight and tomorrow.
They got their party tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, so
that's a fun one.
It should be a good time. So I mean, it's nothing that I've experienced before. So I don't know what to expect really. So I'm kind of excited.
When you were talking about your training, like what is a day of training right now for you to get ready?
Okay, so I usually wake up around 7:15, head to the facility. Breakfast is at 8, so I usually warm up before I eat breakfast, get in the hot tub and stuff, and then I eat breakfast at 8. Then I train. We usually warm up and stuff at 9:30. Then we have a lift, a quick lift, and then we'll go run. So this is a Monday schedule. We'll run. We'll do our flying 20s with Brent Calloway, and then we'll be off until then. So in between that time, our next training time is at 3. So in between that time, I'm doing PT training, physical therapy with our physical therapist Justin. Possibly getting on the boots, and then we'll have lunch. They'll have lunch for us, catered in for us at 12. We'll have lunch, and then we'll be back at it at 3, working out again, and then we'll get our meal and then go home, and then from there I'm just chilling.
So it's a full day every day.
Sounds like your day, Eli.
Oh yeah. You know, there were some similarities. I heard there were meals in there. That's where the similarities stopped. There were meals within that day. How much are you actually doing football stuff versus just training?
Okay, so Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are usually our position work days.
Okay.
So we usually do position work at 11:30 on those days to like 12:30, so an hour of position work.
And how many guys are there at that facility working out with you?
I would like to say there's about 30.
Oh, okay. So
there's
a lot of people
guys.
there.
Yeah, we have 3 groups, so it's 10 person a group, 10 people a group with so wide receivers, DBs, and then running backs, linebackers, tight ends, and then defensive line and offensive line.
All right, Patrick, give us a pick for Sunday.
I'm going Kansas City.
Smart move.
I'm going Kansas City.
Close game?
Pat Moe.
You think it'll be a close game, or?
I think Kansas City wins by 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
I've got about. So, who were you a fan of growing up?
So I was a Kansas City fan.
Were you?
Yeah, I was a Kansas City fan in middle school. That's when I first started to become a Kansas City fan, when Eric Berry got drafted there.
Okay.
And I just fell in love with Eric Berry. I liked his game and how he carried himself off the field. And man, how he persevered through his injury and how he persevered through cancer and stuff. So I just would continue to be a Kansas City fan throughout there, and then I was like excited they were going to the Super Bowl, and like I was like, yeah, this is probably the only time I'm gonna be able to cheer for them again unless they draft me. So yeah.
Well, hey man, we wish you the best of luck. It's been great getting to see you do your thing at Memphis, and certainly we know a lot of folks will be watching you and hoping good things come for you, man, in your career in the NFL.
Yes,
Thanks,
sir.
Patrick.
Enjoy this with your family, too.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Patrick, thank you. That's Patrick Taylor joining us here on Radio Row, the former Memphis Tiger, getting ready for the NFL draft. Well, another guy who's been in the NFL, he's been in the NFL for a little while. He's done some things. He just completed his 15th year after being a 7th-round draft pick. He's played for 8 different teams and holds a number of records throughout his NFL career. And I had a chance to sit down with him earlier. It is the quarterback currently with the Miami Dolphins, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Back here in Miami on Radio Row, and it's a pleasure to welcome to the microphone, to the table here on Radio Row, guy who just continues to get it done in the NFL with his 8th team and doing it right here in Miami now. It is Ryan Fitzpatrick from the Miami Dolphins. Ryan, how you doing, man?
I'm great. Having a great day so far.
Well, that's good. First, let's talk about you're here with Main Event. We have Main Event in Memphis. It's actually not far from where I live, right down the road from where I live. And they got a really cool thing coming up with the Super Bowl that's going to give a chance for people to save some money and maybe save a bunch of money.
Yeah, so they're running a promotion right now, and I love Main Event too. You know, and with 7 kids and everything, it's a great family place and a great place just to go and blow some steam off and play games. But they've got a promotion running right now. Go in there and buy a $10 game card, and you get 54% off all the activities. 54% off being Super Bowl 54, of course. And the other cool one,
Taylor was good.
If either team ends up scoring 54 points in this game, they end the game with 54 points. Wednesday, they're going to open up their doors, and everything's going to be free. So we're hoping for a high-scoring affair.
Yeah, which a lot of people think this will be.
And a lot of, so there's a chance, but, you know, bowling, laser tag, they've got it all. Great place to go.
Yeah, that's, again, on Wednesday, everything will be free from 11 until 4, and they're doing it 5 hours, ending at 4, so you get the other 54. So I think they're tying that 54 into a lot of different things, which is really cool. But yeah, Main Event is a fantastic place to go. It's right there just off of I-40 in Memphis, and again, 54% off all activities with a purchase of a $10 video game card on the day of the big game. And then if somebody scores 54 points, free stuff for 5 hours on Wednesday. So, mentioned that you just wrapped up your 15th year. When you're coming out of Harvard and you're a 7th-round pick, I can't imagine at that time you thought you're going to be 15 years in the NFL.
No, I mean, I came out buried on the bottom of the depth chart, you know, just hoping for an opportunity. And back then, luckily, teams would keep 3 quarterbacks for the most part, you know, and now it's more keep 2 and put 1 on the practice squad. And so I was lucky enough I was competing with Jeff Smoker my rookie year from Michigan State.
Wow. That's a name from the past.
There you go. So I ended up being the 3rd-string guy, and then my rookie year, I actually ran into Torrey Holt today. My rookie year, 2 guys in front of me get hurt, and I get to go into a game with Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce and Marshall Falk and Orlando Pace, and I don't know what I'm doing, and it just seems so long ago, but great memories. And Torrey Holt was the first touchdown pass I ever threw, so it was cool to see him today.
It's funny you mentioned that because Isaac Bruce, a University of Memphis guy who we're really hoping gets into the Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah, what a great career he had, and he has some signature moments too in his career, which I think are important for that. But the statistics and everything else, what an unbelievable work ethic he had, and what an unbelievable example he provided for everybody that was able to look up to him. And he's just a very quiet but unbelievable guy.
This year with the Dolphins was interesting. The really slow start. You're 0-7, but then things turned around and you go 5-4 from there. Beat the Patriots in the final week of the regular season to knock them out of a home field or a bye situation. What was the difference? How did you guys turn things around?
I think there was so much change at the beginning of the year. We were still introducing ourselves to guys in the huddle, and that finally settled down a little bit. And then from there, it was just starting to believe in ourselves, starting to learn how to win a little bit, and it all came from the top down. And I think Coach Flores did a great job, just making sure that in practice what we were doing in the games, we were letting it all hang out. We were being and playing aggressive, and that mentality really carried to the second half of the season, where we started to see some results and guys really started to buy in.
That win against the Patriots, obviously you're not going to the playoffs, but how satisfying is it to get a win like that, to prevent them from getting a bye? It's a divisional game. It's the Patriots. How satisfying was that win?
Yeah, well, that was a really important game for them, obviously, and so it's not like they were treating it like it was a playoff game essentially. And so for us, that was an enormous game because we played them earlier in the season and got demolished. So it was a nice measuring stick to see, how far have we come this year. And it was also it was so rewarding from what we had been weeks ago to what we did at the end of the season. It was nice to see that the hard work and the way that we started building the team really started paying off towards the end of the season.
Ryan Fitzpatrick joining me here on Radio Row. The one thing that stands out to me about you watching you play is you seem to really be having fun still. Is that true?
It is, and part of it is I've been in a lot of different places. I've been in a lot of different situations. I've had good games and bad games, but I am now, 37 years old, and I still get to go out there and play a game for fun. And I think just making sure that I keep that proper perspective. I play better when I play like that, when I'm enjoying myself, when I don't get too caught up in all the other things that are going on. And I think that also allows my teammates to relax, and I think we felt that this year a little bit. You've got a lot of, you go down the list, you've got a lot of franchise records, you got a lot of amazing statistics. I think my favorite statistic, though, is that you and Lamar Jackson, the only two quarterbacks to lead your teams in rushing this year. It's unbelievable, yeah. I don't think anybody would have guessed that one early on in the season.
You weren't compared to Lamar Jackson much before?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think our pictures are both going to be in the dictionary for the same things, but that one, that's just a funny statistic that we now add to a million weird, quirky things that go along my Wikipedia page.
Well, part of that, to me, is what that indicates is just your ability to just do whatever you need to do to try and win a football game. You're putting your body on the line at 37 years old still.
Yeah, and that's just as a competitor. I mean, that's the beauty of the game, right? You get to go out there and compete with your guys and do whatever you can to come up with a win on Sunday, and that's what I've tried to do my whole career.
Do you plan on continuing to play?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I always take a little bit of time to kind of evaluate, and physically there are no limitations. I feel great, and so it's the other part of it. It's, being dad and husband with 7 kids, and just figuring out the mental and the emotional toll it takes on you during a season, and putting that all to bed after the season. I still want to play. Still love playing, and I'm definitely going to do it next year.
The beard. How did the beard start?
It started almost out of necessity in Buffalo. So it was 5 years into my career. Didn't really know I could grow one. Was kind of a baby face in high school and throughout college, and just decided to let it go. And it got real gross and mangly, and it just kind of became who I was. And in Buffalo initially they called me the Amish Rifle.
2 minutes,
and which I thought was a pretty fun name.
Yeah.
But
Greg come back on this one?
It just has become part of who I am now.
Okay, cool.
And so you're no plans to shave it anytime soon?
Well, once I'm done playing, I could shave it and be anonymous, so maybe we'll go with that route.
Does the wife like it, hate it?
She likes it at this length. So that at the end of the season, it was about the longest I'd ever had it, and she hates that, the homeless look. She didn't like that, but the trimmed up look, which I don't like as much, and neither do my kids. She likes that one.
So I was talking before we went on there. I've seen you at a Grizzlies game when you were playing for the Titans. I know you came down at least for one Grizzlies game, so you spent a little time in Memphis.
Yeah, I spent some time in Memphis, and I've been with Jimmy Sexton my whole career, who's a big guy in Memphis, and so that the draw of Kyle Rote and Jimmy Sexton. I used to go to Memphis a lot more, and it's a great place. Obviously enjoyed some barbecue and some good times down there.
Do you have a feeling on who was going to win on Sunday?
I've gone back and forth. I think everybody kind of has. I think Kansas City's going to win, but what I'm excited about is that I think aside from Baltimore, like these are the two best teams. I mean, especially at the end of the season, the way both of them were playing, I think we got it right. We have the two correct teams in the Super Bowl, so I think it's going to be a really good game.
He is Ryan Fitzpatrick again. He's with Main Event here today, and at Main Event, which of course we got the location in Memphis there, just off I-40. On Sunday, you can get 54% off of all activities with the purchase of a $10 video game card. And then if either team hits 54 points exactly, ends the game with 54 points on Sunday, on Wednesday from 11 to 4, all activities are free at all Main Event locations. So that is a great deal. Folks, you want somebody to hit 54 in this game. There's no doubt about it. Ryan, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you stopping by.
All right, thank you.
That is Ryan Fitzpatrick, as you heard, wants to continue to play as a member of the Miami Dolphins. Thank you to our great sponsors for us to be here in Miami, including Olive Branch Motorsports at obmotorcycleatv.com. The Big Green Egg, available at many locations. Fantastic, great option to be doing your grilling for the Super Bowl. Man, there's no better way to do it than on a Big Green Egg. Southland Casino Racing, now with the sportsbook open over there, and Memphis Tourism and the Memphis Sports Council, which continues to attract great events and people to Memphis, continuing to help the local economy with sporting events and just other things that attract tourists throughout the year to Memphis. We certainly thank Memphis Tourism and the Memphis Sports Council.
Yeah, and real quick, Fitzpatrick under contract with the Dolphins for 2020, announcing, and as you talked to him about, will play in 2020, which is not good news, I guess, for Josh Rosen. We'll see if the Dolphins also take somebody in the draft, which is expected. When we come back, Robert Turbin is going to join us, NFL running back, former NFL running back, or do you say current because he ended with Seattle? I don't know. It's kind of confusing, but he'll join us next. Also, the Rising Stars teams were announced. We'll tell you about that. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Take Sports 56 with you on your phone or tablet. Download our official Sports 56 app today.
I'm here interviewing Macaulay Williams, CEO of Big River Distilling Company here in Memphis. Macaulay, tell us about the uniqueness of your Blue Note Bourbon and Riverset Rye.
Well, Eli, both my products, Blue Note Bourbon and Riverset Rye, are produced right here in Memphis, Tennessee. The Blue Note Bourbon is a premium small batch blend, minimum age of 9 years, served at 93 proof. The Riverset Rye is a straight rye whiskey, also at 93 proof. It's a great spicy, herbaceous tone. It's great in cocktails.
Where can folks find the Blue Note Bourbon and Riverset Rye?
Both products can be found at any local liquor store here in Memphis and also at most bars and restaurants. Next time you're around the town, be sure to ask your bartender for a glass of Blue Note or Riverset.
And is there anywhere else that folks can get more information about your products?
Yeah, absolutely. At our website, BlueNoteBourbon.com or RiversetRye.com. Also, be sure to follow us on social media at Blue Note Bourbon or at Riverset Rye.
All right, well, that sounds great. I can't wait to try a bottle.
Yeah, Eli, I really appreciate the support, and hopefully you and your listeners can pick up a bottle today.
Hey everybody, what's the best new thing to kick off 2020? A new All-Star Chevrolet. You cannot believe all the zero finance deals and cash back on the new 2019s and new 2020s. 0 for 72 on most new All-Star Chevy Silverados, 2019 or 2020s. Plus, you get thousands off MSRP in bonus earnings when you finance with GM. Every Silverado truck you're looking for is at All-Star Chevrolet right now. So if you're ready to kick off 2020 in your new Chevy, head to Olive Branch this week. Not the Pike, not South Haven, not Mount Moriah or Collierville. It's gotta be Olive Branch, people. And everybody at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch has one job: to make sure you get a better deal that's more fun and enjoyable and in record time. And be sure to ask about all the deals on the new Blazers and Traverses. So find new roads to All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch today or check out allstarautogroup.com.
The lights are on, the games have started, and now you can place your bets at the casino that's closest to Memphis, Southland Casino. regular season and postseason, tournaments and playoffs, championships
Hey, Gabe.
and finals. The biggest games
All right,
are at
Turbin
the best spot
is,
to place your bets.
is
Southland,
running late,
plus
so he's not
big
going to make
screens,
it.
Great bites and
Not gonna
cold
make it
brews.
at all?
Come
No.
make your sports bets
They
now
just told me
at
he's not even
Southland
here yet, so-
Casino. Must be 21 plus.
Okay.
Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
We can do that Rising Stars thing, and I want to mention quickly the St. Jude event last night.
Okay, so no interview here?
Correct.
Cool.
Join Eli Savoie live from Radio Row in Miami for Sports 56 Middays and throughout the day, Tuesday through Friday. Get all the
You wanna
latest
rejoin
news and
or,
hear guests from around the
he
league
can.
previewing
He
the
wants to-
matchup.
if he
Coverage
held
of
to
the
go
big
through that
game on
Rising
Sports
Star
56,
stuff, and then
96.1 and
like I said, I just want
87.7
at
is
some point to be
presented
able to
by
get
the
in a
Big
little bit
Green
to that
Egg,
St. Jude
Olive
event
Branch
last night.
Motorsports, and also brought to you by
we'll come
Memphis
back right now.
Tourism and Sports Council.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is also brought to you by Gold Strike Casino and Resort in Tunica. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Welcome back, everybody. 11:31 is the time. Halfway through the Friday edition of Sports 56 Middays, getting you set for the sports weekend on this final day of January. Greg Gaston, Gabe Kuhn in the Family Leisure Studios in Memphis. Eli Savoie joining us from Radio Row at the Miami Beach Convention Center covering Super Bowl 54. The people who had hoped that John Morant would make the All-Star team, the Western Conference All-Star team in his rookie year, are a little upset today, although it's very, very tough for the rookies to get in. The coaches don't normally vote for the rookies, but much to the dismay of many, including guys like Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley, he did not make it, but he will be on the Rising Stars U.S. team. In fact, the Memphis Grizzlies are going to be well represented in the Rising Stars game, which is part of All-Star Weekend, with 3 players, 2 on the U.S. team. That's Jaren Jackson Jr. in his second year, and, of course, rookie John Morant. And on the world team, Brandon Clark from Canada has made the team. So a lot of Grizzly flair in that game, Eli.
Yeah, that's what we had expected. Talked about the other day that figured probably all 3 of them would make that, and so that's cool. The Grizzlies went a long time without having anybody in that game, so it's nice to have had a few years here and now get 3 guys in there. That's cool.
That other or the other members of the U.S. team, not too shabby. Zion Williamson, Trae Young, Kendrick Nunn, who's had a really, really good year. You got a couple of second-year guys like Miles Bridges, Wendell Carter, Tyler Hero, who's had a terrific year with Miami, Eric Paschall, who's been really good at Golden State, P.J. Washington from Charlotte on that team, and Devontae Graham. Some of the guys on the world team include Rui Hachimura from Gonzaga. You have R.J. Barrett, who right now is hurt for the Knicks. DeAndre Ayton of the Phoenix Suns is on that team. Josh Okogie from Georgia Tech. Mo Wagner from Michigan, just some of the members of those teams that will be playing All-Star Weekend. By the way, Robert Turbin did not make it to Radio Row, so we will not have Robert Turbin coming up, correct?
Yeah, he has not arrived yet. He got hung up with some stuff, so he's not going to be able to make it over here. I did want to mention last night I had the chance to go over St. Jude. Of course, every Super Bowl week they do a big event, big fundraising event, where they hand out and honors somebody with the Pat Summerall Award. And it was great to go over there last night. Check that out. Jim Kelly was the honoree this year, and it's just amazing to what that man has gone through from losing his son and then battling cancer as many times as he has. It was cool to hear him and see that, and his former college coach Howard Schnellenberger was there last night, which was cool. Tony Dungy, Dave Wanstedt, among others that were in attendance, and it's always a great night. And just the folks at St. Jude do such a great event, and they raised a bunch of money again last night. Don't know if the goal was $1 million. I know last year they had gotten $950,000. Not sure exactly what they got to last night, but it's always a great night, and the folks at St. Jude just continue to do wonderful things.
You and I went to the event in Atlanta last year, so that was my first experience of that dinner that they have every Super Bowl, and it was fantastic with Bill Cowher being honored. But I can't even imagine there was a dry eye in the house for Jim Kelly, as you mentioned. You talk about a guy who has been through a lot. Jim Kelly has, and here he is standing and being as strong as he can be. I mean, I can't imagine that that somebody could survive all those operations that he's had, and he was able to do so. Boy, you talk about perseverance. That guy losing a child, losing 4 Super Bowls as well, and Jim Kelly coming out, the better man for it.
He is. It is. It really is an incredible story. And yeah, it was. Before we even got to Jim Kelly last night, Rick Shadiak was up talking, and he was talking a lot about Austin, young man who. I actually interviewed on Radio Row. I don't remember what year it was, but it's been probably 5, 6, 7 years ago. Mm-hmm. In a wheelchair, and just a kid who at 2 years old was diagnosed with cancer and ended up living until he was 18 years old, but just passed away a couple of months ago. And Rick Shadiak talking about him and the way he lived his life and everything else. Man, it was I'll tell you. The old eyes were sweating a lot last night, Greg. It was a difficult thing in there, but they also had Javon, who was a current member of the University of Memphis band, mm-hmm. who had been a St. Jude patient, and he came out and spoke a little bit, and it was pretty incredible because he then brought his mom and sister out, who both also have battled cancer and went to St. Jude. His mom back in the 80s went to St. Jude. Then she has a son. He's diagnosed with cancer. He goes to St. Jude. Jeez. Then a daughter who gets diagnosed with cancer. She goes to St. Jude. And you see stories like that, and and hear stories like that, and you realize how amazing it is that St. Jude can do what they do for these families, and these families never have to worry about paying the bills for it. Because a family like that, I mean, it's like there's just no way they could handle all of the bills and everything else mm-hmm. that would be included in that, and St. Jude makes it possible. So it's pretty incredible stuff. And the highlight of there's many highlights of the event. The entertaining, funny part of the night, as you saw last year, is the auction. Because the mm-hmm. auctioneer, she is amazing.
She really is.
She is like, and last night, man, she had one guy like holding his jacket up over his head, trying to hide from her because she like somehow can make you bid. She like she makes you start. Once you start bidding, she will keep you bidding, and it was hilarious. Watch this guy, like I thought he was gonna crawl under the table just so he could like get away from her because he was. But she is entertaining. She's fun, and she does a great job in helping them raise a bunch of money.
And a great association between St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and the National Football League. A couple things before we take a timeout. Mike Miller tweeting, and he doesn't tweet much, as you know. This is Mike Miller's tweet from 26 minutes ago. He has a picture, by the way, of Ja Morant. Revived a team picked to finish last, putting up numbers, all capitals, and selling out crowds. That's not just a Rookie of the Year. That's an all-star. 2 exclamation points in red. All-star in bold letters. Mike Miller coming out and talking about the impact of Ja Morant. So there are a lot. We talked about Shaq and Charles Barkley, and I was watching Around the Horn yesterday, and it was Frank Isola. Everybody saying that Ja should have been on the team. But again, I'll go back to how we started today's show, talking about the reserves and how many others around the Western Conference that could be on the team, not to mention Steph Curry happens to be hurt this year, so he's back in the mix next year. Klay Thompson, same thing. And Zion Williamson, unless he has a setback, a full season of Zion, and you know how popular he is. So it is going to be an awfully tall task. But I think Ja will eventually get into that position that Westbrook's in right now, or Chris Paul, and knock on wood, continues to put up numbers and stays healthy, will become a perennial all-star. It's going to take some time, though.
See, and I think, when the former players like Shaq and Charles Barkley, Mike Miller in this case, like I think the former players understand a little bit of like this is an all-star game. You want entertaining guys in the game.
Right,
like this needs to be about entertainment. And so I think they look at it like that. Like Ja brings that factor. Like those are the guys like you want in this type of game. It's a great setting for him because he can show off and do the things that he does in that game. And I think that's more part of them even more so beyond just what he has done and everything else. But look at it and go, he fits this game. Like he makes it better because he's such an entertaining player, such a flashy player.
Yeah, and that's the point of why I say there should be expanded rosters. I don't want to water it down, but I don't think adding 3 guys on each side is watering it down, and it gives more guys an opportunity to make all-star teams, especially in the West when they would not normally do it. Put those guys on there that are entertaining. And then, of course, you have the debate, and I'm not going to get into it again. Devin Booker has way better numbers than Chris Paul. Bradley Beal's got way better numbers than some of the guys that made the Eastern Conference team. One other thing, Eli, I got to ask you this. I saw this yesterday. I had no idea. Bill Vinovich is the referee for the Super Bowl Sunday. Bill Vinovich and his crew was on the job for New Orleans Rams last year in the NFC Championship game where the call was not made on the obvious pass interference. He supposedly graded out the best this year during the regular season. But should there not have been a penalty of some sort for that debacle last year? Where, see, if I was making the call, I would have said that crew and everybody on that crew is not going to be working a Super Bowl for a year or two. But Vinovich, again, he wasn't the one who did not drop the flag, but it was his crew, and he's the one who's going to be refereeing the Super Bowl.
Well, no, but the thing is, it's not his crew. Like it's an all-star crew in the playoffs. So, I mean, he has that's the thing. To me, they should use the crews that always work together. But I don't. He doesn't need to be penalized for a bad call by an official that happens to be working with him in that game.
But he was the referee in that game. It was that crew. I know they're an all-star crew. They're not the crews that work together during the regular season. But in that particular game, they were the crew that worked together. And one egregious move that maybe caused New Orleans not to be in the Super Bowl should not be rewarded with anybody on that crew getting the Super Bowl the following year. That's at least my opinion.
I think there's one official on the crew that shouldn't be working. All the others, that's not their fault that the guy blew the call, or you can maybe say 2 guys over there. But I don't know. I mean, to me, if the guy grades out well this year, you want the best official for this year doing this year's game, and if he graded out as the best, then by golly, let him be the referee for this.
All right, fair enough. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon McCullough at 901-438-5084 or go online to newroofmemphis.com. Locally owned and operated, been around now for a while, folks, and they're thriving because of people like you. Brandon does a great job. Has a team of professionals that can take care of your roof. They offer financing with many different plans and options, including a 6, a 12, and 18-month same as cash option, whatever works for you. They will work with your insurance company or out of pocket. Remember, your insurance company can't tell you what company you must pick. You can choose whatever company you want, in this case, to fix your roof. Pinnacle does both residential and commercial roofing. So business owners, property managers, if you have a leak or any other roofing issue, call Brandon today. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. They're licensed, bonded, and insured, and a member of the Better Business Bureau. Don't forget the $100 referral fee for all new roofs. They have a 5-year labor warranty on all the roofs they do, and satisfaction with all their work is guaranteed. They can do carpentry work, exterior painting. They can replace gutters, put up fencing and siding, rotten wood repair. They can install shingles, anything you need around your home to be repaired. If you can do it yourself, great. If not, call the experts at Pinnacle. Quality work at a very reasonable price. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon McCullough today at 901-438-5084 or go online to newroofmemphis.com. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Ladies and gentlemen, grab a seat every afternoon for Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. Right here on Sports 56, 96.1 FM and 87.7 FM.
Gabe, I got to run to the restroom.
I really bar about Central Barbecue.
Okay, we're going to have Art Coin on too.
Then why do they let you do their commercials?
I'm talking about their food.
Everything is prepared with devotion to taking the time and effort to create perfect barbecue.
Oh, I know. That's exactly why I was wondering why...
They're not kidding with that slow-smoked Memphis-style slogan. They smoke their pork for 14 hours. Do they have to? They do if they want to be the best barbecue in Memphis, and they are.
And yet they let you just throw together...
There's nothing better than Central Barbecue because they care.
Except apparently about their radio ads.
A good friend of mine told me about this awesome place for lunch.
Oh, yeah? What's the name?
Neil's Grill and Bar, where the fat man rocks. Everybody knows Neil.
Where's it located?
It's located in Yorkshire Square off of Quince.
And what's it like?
The best lunch place in Memphis. You know, like real mashed potatoes and gravy. Everything is made from scratch. Monday through Friday, daily lunch specials like Monday baked chicken, Tuesday chicken fried steak, yum, fried chicken livers every Wednesday, Friday Salisbury steak, barbecue chicken, or if you just want a vegetable plate, the best veggies in town.
What about the lunch price?
Meat and 2 veggies, $7.95. Meat and 3 veggies, $9.99. And veggie plate, $8.95. Big fat boy portions, man.
Man, you're making me hungry. Let's go. You drive, I'll buy.
Come hear the best live local music at Neil's.
Every Wednesday, world-famous Elmo and the Shades. No cover charge, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. at Neil's Bar and Grill.
Where the fat man rocks.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roofing. It is that time of year where the weather is unpredictable, and given the recent storms, it's a good time to discuss insurance claims. So here's a few things you should know. Always hire a local contractor, because if you have a problem with your roof down the road, you want to be able to find him. Never allow anyone to pressure you into signing a contingency contract. They're used as sales tools, making you feel committed, and the truth is, those contracts are not worth the paper they're written on. Be careful of door-knocking salesmen. Some are reputable, but many are not. They canvass the neighborhood and tell everyone to file a claim, working their percentages and not caring if you file a claim even when they know the likelihood of it being approved is low. Some will even damage your roof, hoping to convince the adjuster it's storm damage. That's fraud, and contractors have gone to jail for that. So do your research and know who you're hiring. Five-Ash Roofing, the official roof of the University of Memphis Athletic Department. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test driven, checked out from head to toe. Unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales. The doors never close 24 hours a day at Getaway Sports Bar, the best kept secret in town. Garvin, the owner, created this SEC NFL Dream Bar over 20 years ago. You'll never miss a minute of action. 12 TVs, 5 70-inch TVs for all the big games. Rack them up on 6 pool tables. Coldest beer in town. Grab you a pool stick and get you some good bar grub. 100% Angus burgers, big and moist chicken tenders. Daily happy hour Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. with long neck domestics, $2. Getaway Sports Bar, 4632 Winchester.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is also brought to you by Gold Strike Casino and Resort in Tunica. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Welcome back, everybody. Final segment here in hour number 2. Coming up in our final hour, we have Ryan Leaf. He will join us at 12:30. Kevin Harlan will join us at 12:50 from Radio Row in Miami. But before all of that, Matt Dillon in studio for the Tiger Basketball Report. Obviously, the big game on Sunday. Everybody's fired up for it. Kansas City, San Francisco expected to be a real good one. And there's going to be a lot of folks that'll be heading down to the Gold Strike Casino Resort, the Moneyline Book Bar and Grill. And our friend Art Hoyne, who's the manager of the Moneyline Book Bar and Grill, joins us now on Sports 56 Middays. Art, how are you today?
Good, Greg. How you doing today?
Man, doing fantastic. I know talking last week to Troy that you guys, because of the anticipation of how many people will be down there, are opening up a secondary room to show the Super Bowl. Is that correct?
We're actually opening up 2 secondary spots. One down in our Pickle and Jam restaurant where our original sportsbook was located. We'll have every TV on down there with the Super Bowl going on. And then the Millennium Bar Theater upstairs will also have the game on, and we'll open up the bar and have seating up there for guests to sit back and watch and enjoy the game.
So the kiosks, which are located throughout the resort, is there a kiosk up there near the upstairs room that will have the Super Bowl?
I have 2 kiosks being installed as we speak. They will be open and ready to go this afternoon. It's a whole non-smoking area of the casino, so you can watch the game with no smoke and make your bets all throughout the game.
Wow, fantastic. What's the expectations for people coming down there? I mean, are you getting a lot of calls for reservations for the Moneyline Book Bar and Grill? What's the anticipation like?
We're expecting a big crowd. It's going to be a great game. You know, anytime the Patriots aren't playing, I think guests get excited. So,
is that true?
We have had people calling. You're more than welcome to call down there. There's a food and beverage minimum to reserve a table, and depending on where it is, they will take care of you.
And that phone number to call is?
662-357-1111, and just ask for the money line.
So what are you seeing right now as we head into Super Bowl Sunday as far as the money being wagered? Is it more on KC, more on San Francisco?
It appears that we've seen more on the Chiefs side, just as that line started out at 1 and it's gone up to 1.5. So it hasn't been a big swing on one side or the other, but I expect to see a lot of more money this weekend on the Chiefs.
Do you think it'll stay at 1.5, or could it fluctuate a little bit more from maybe to 2 or drop to 1?
It could go back up to 2. It could go up to 2, that is. And it could possibly always drop because you'll see that late-minute money going on the underdogs, and that over's looking pretty good at 54 also.
Now, will all those prop bets be available at the Gold Strike?
They are available now. I've got 14 pages of prop bets that you can make, so well over 200 bets, and we've still got some more coming in that are really exciting. We hadn't got them all yet, but you'll be able to bet, for an example, the Pelicans to score points in the first quarter. Will it be more or less than what the Chiefs score in the whole game? So we cross over between NBA and the Super Bowl as well.
Do you have any of the outlandish ones that we read about, the J-Lo's, the Shakira ones? Are any of those available?
I don't know. Mississippi only allows us to take bets on actual sporting events. You know, we do have the coin toss, which is a rarity that they let us have, but everything is sports-related.
Oh, okay. So you won't have, like, the Gatorade, what color the Gatorade shower is going to be and all that stuff?
Oh, no, they won't let us do all that.
Wow. What type of handle are you expecting?
Oh, our handle fluctuates throughout the weekend. We have so many people that, visit us that are local. You've been able to bet on the game for over a week. But we hope to see 750. That's what I'm hoping for.
How does the Super Bowl, or how do you believe the Super Bowl at the Gold Strike compare to the NCAA tournament? What will that be like? Because I know the Super Bowl is the most bet on single event there is in sports. Maybe the World Cup. I'm not so sure about it from worldwide standing. But the NCAA tournament is a bunch of games. So what's the comparison between the two?
They told me when we opened up to expect March Madness, those first 4 days to be 4 days of the Super Bowl, and we far exceeded that. The 4 days of March Madness are just insane because those bets don't come out until Tuesday or Wednesday after the selection show, and the Super Bowl you have 2 weeks to bet on it, so you see a gradual uptake in the Super Bowl, whereas for March Madness, it's those 4 days, and it's just nonstop and crazy.
Well, Sunday it is the big game, Super Bowl 54, and it's going to be hopping at the Gold Strike Casino Resort and the Moneyline Book Bar and Grill. Art, enjoy. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate it. There you go, Eli. I had no idea that you could only have the props that deal with the game in Mississippi.
Yeah, I mean, there's different rules on various things, and a lot of stuff, like a lot of the outlandish stuff ends up being only in offshore type settings and not in actual casinos, stuff that could easily be affected by the people. they try and stay away from that as much, a lot of these the actual casinos do anyway.
We made our predictions earlier in the show, and you like Kansas City. I like Kansas City really close, 28-27. Gabe changed his mind. He's picked San Francisco. We've had a lot of guests on the program that have given us their opinions, but you've talked to a lot of people down there. whether it's interviews we didn't air on our show, whether it's just people that you passed in the hallway. What's the general consensus you're getting about what they believe will happen on Sunday?
I think the majority of people believe Kansas City in a close game. I think most people do believe, and obviously Vegas believes, so and people trust Vegas in a lot of this stuff. But most people, do not see it, getting a blowout either way. Think it will be a close game that comes down to the end, and then they look for Patrick Mahomes to be able to make enough plays to win for Kansas City. I did talk to a guy last night though that works at NASA, and he likes San Francisco.
Really?
So I don't know. I mean, he seems pretty smart. I just figure, okay, this guy's pretty smart. He works at NASA. He's talking about, literally rocket science here. And he likes San Francisco. But see, my thing is, this isn't rocket science. This is sports. So I don't know if he may be too smart to figure this out, and maybe he overthinks it, and therefore I think maybe he's wrong in that going that way.
Did he break down the aerodynamics of a football being thrown by Patrick Mahomes as opposed to Garoppolo?
No, he did not. Although I did see the sports science guy. What's his name?
He was on with us last year from Atlanta.
John Brinkus?
Yeah.
Is it Brinkus?
Something like that.
He was around, so he certainly could do that. There's no doubt about that. These guys, it was amazing. There were a couple of guys working. They all work. There was actually a few of them that all work for NASA. And, boy, listening to that conversation. Whoa, baby. Let me tell you something. My head was spinning. I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. I was like, yep. That's right. Rocket goes here to there. Yep, gotcha figured out there.
One other note before we head to hour 3, Matt Dillon and the Tiger Basketball Report to kick things off, or maybe I should say tip things off, more appropriate. Then Ryan Leaf at 12:30 and Kevin Harlan at 12:50 to wrap it up. But the SEC announcing yesterday that the league made $651 million of total revenue for the 2018-19 fiscal year, roughly $45 million per school, although Ole Miss makes less because of the penalties. They only get a paltry $35.9 million. So
wonder how they will survive.
Yeah, I know. The argument about players being paid in some regard will continue the more and more we see this type of money being made by schools, by institutions of higher learning, and by the escalating salaries of coaches. Eli Savoie in Miami, FLA. Greg Gaston, Gabe Kuhn in Memphis. Matt Dillon's next. Hour 3 of Middays coming up on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
I'm here interviewing Macaulay Williams, CEO of Big River Distilling Company here in Memphis. Macaulay, tell us about the uniqueness of your Blue Note Bourbon and Riverset Rye.
Well, Eli, both my products, Blue Note Bourbon and Riverset Rye, are produced right here in Memphis, Tennessee. The Blue Note Bourbon is a premium small batch blend, minimum age of 9 years, served at 93 proof. The Riverset Rye is a straight rye whiskey, also at 93 proof. It's a great spicy herbaceous tone. It's great in cocktails.
Where can folks find the Blue Note Bourbon and Riverset Rye?
Both products can be found at any local liquor store here in Memphis and also at most bars and restaurants. Next time you're around the town, be sure to ask your bartender for a glass of Blue Note or Riverset.
And is there anywhere else that folks can get more information about your products?
Yeah, absolutely. At our website, BlueNoteBourbon.com or RiversetRye.com. Also, be sure to follow us on social media at Blue Note Bourbon or at Riverset Rye.
All right, well, that sounds great. I can't wait to try a bottle.
Yeah, Eli, I really appreciate the support, and hopefully you and your listeners can pick up a bottle today.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the Little Red Tractor from Case IH, the Farm All, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Mid-South Ag Equipment can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horsepower ranging from 30 to 105, plus an army of attachments, these tractors can tackle every chore on your to-do list. Call 662-890-3141 or stop in today to find a Case IH Farm Mall that's right for you.
The doors never close 24 hours a day at Getaway Sports Bar, the best kept secret in town. Garvin, the owner, created this SEC NFL Dream Bar over 20 years ago. You'll never miss a minute of action. 12 TVs, 5 70-inch TVs for all the big games. Rack them up on 6 pool tables. Coldest beer in town, grab you a pool stick and get you some good bar grub. 100% Angus burgers, big and moist chicken tenders. Daily happy hour Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. with long neck domestics, $2. Getaway Sports Bar, 4632 Winchester.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. It's been a particularly rainy season, and that stain on your ceiling isn't getting any smaller, exposing your family to the possibility of mold. Let me come take a look. 867-0303. Our technicians are Owens Corning Platinum Preferred, so don't let someone tell you that it has to be replaced if all you need is a repair to get several more years of life. 867-0303. Have me on your speed dial for when life's little catastrophes come up. 867-0303. Upgrade your roof to a beautiful Owens Corning Duration architectural shingle with a 50-year warranty and an unheard of 25-year labor guarantee. I'll measure your roof from outer space and give you a competitive estimate right over the phone. Buy now and pay nothing till 2022 with approved credit. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 96.1, and 87.7 FM, as well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app, and at home, tell Alexa or Google to play Sports 56. If it's happening in the world of sports, we've got it covered. Wherever you are, stay tuned to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Don't that feel real funky, y'all?
Final hour for us today and this week here on Sports 56 Middays. It is the Friday, January 31st, 2020 edition. Greg Gaston and Gabe Kuhn in the Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, it's located at 2120 Whitten Road. That is just north of Interstate 40. Sports 56 Middays delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor, FedEx. No matter what stage you are at in your business, there's room to grow online. Learn more at FedEx.com/e-commerce. It's also the final hour for Eli Savoie with us in Miami, although he will make an appearance later this afternoon on Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats, and won't be coming back until Sunday. So at least you'll have a day tomorrow, Eli, to kick back a little bit and relax after a hard week's worth of work.
Yeah, the weather tomorrow's not supposed to be as pleasant, though. We're supposed to get rain tomorrow, which could be really doubly unfortunate. I mean, the weather has literally been perfect every day. Like, it is sunshine, not a cloud in the sky all day long, 75, 80 degrees every single day. And tomorrow they're calling for rain when I'm supposed to be going out on a boat.
Ooh. What about Sunday for the game?
Sunday's supposed to be nice again. Last I had checked, it was supposed to be similar type days we've had, and I think they were saying right around at kickoff they were expecting about 65 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Sunday a little colder. 69 is the high for Sunday, but they're calling for sunshine.
All right, let's step away from Super Bowl 54 for a few moments. It's Friday. It's time for Matt Dillon.
It's time to talk Tiger hoops. It's the Tiger Basketball Report with Matt Dillon of the Tiger Radio Network. The Tiger Basketball Report is brought to you by Neil's Bar and Grill, Binswanger Glass, Getaway Sports Bar, Big River Distilling Company, and Central Barbecue. Here are Greg, Eli, and Matt.
Matt Dillon from the Tigers Radio Network. You can follow him on Twitter at Big Blue Matt. Before we talk hoops, do you have a pick for Sunday?
You're going to get me in trouble, man. picking.
I won't hold
I've
you
got
to it. Who are you picking?
I think it's going to be the Chiefs.
You like the Chiefs, too?
Yeah. I like
Smart man.
So I'm the only one.
Yeah.
For the 49ers.
Gabe.
Only one of us four, anyway.
Gabe, dumb man.
Well, Gabe probably knows
Y'all
better
watch.
than anybody.
Y'all see.
Yeah, you would think the football player would know more than the rest of us.
Did Gabe, did you go with Clemson or did you go with LSU?
LSU.
You were on LSU.
I was the one who went with
Greg
Clemson.
was on the island by himself on that idiotic pick.
Well, Matt, the Tigers were – look, I know technically on what was it, Wednesday? I forget the days now.
It's hard to remember the days, man.
They weren't in a must win, but they were just about in the must win. The bottom line is they won the game. It wasn't a thing of art. It wasn't a Picasso. They won the game. But since we've been talking a lot of odds and gambling this week because of the Super Bowl, what odds would you have gotten from Vegas that Lance Thomas would have been the hero of that win?
Well, let me put it this way in perspective. He was shooting 1 of 16, 6% from three-point range.
Is that bad?
For the year. That's a little mediocre. I think I could do that 1 of 16. I don't know, but maybe not. But, yeah, it was a very surprising development, no question about it. The lineup was changed the other night. It did some different-looking things. And
it worked.
It worked. It really did to an extent, I guess you could say. Second half got a little ragged, and they got out of their offense a little bit at times. Again, the turnover bugaboo, 17, kind of raised its head again in the second half, especially at some crucial times. But Lance Thomas, the guy's been really through a lot, Greg, when you think about this situation. You know, he came from Louisville, didn't play much there, then sat out a year, didn't get the waiver. Now he's just starting to, I guess, to work his way into a solid player because he's comfortable. But the shooting is the thing that got me. When he shoots like that, boy, it's another added bonus for this team. Consistent shooting from that 4 of 6. If he does 4 of 6 the rest of the year, this team's going to be hard to beat because it allows, obviously, Achua to do a lot of other things in the offense. I did think, though, that they went back and put Precious back down on the block. They went to the high-low, and when they did that, they just started scoring almost every possession against this basketball team. UCF, I'll be honest with you, not a very good basketball team. I was not impressed with them. I don't know what the situation is with Johnny Dawkins there. When you look back last year, they lost a lot of people off that team. Let's be honest about it. Actually, there's like 4 guys off that team playing in the G League and things like that or overseas. So they've got some guys that are playing pro basketball. But when you look back at it, Dawkins is the only, which is his son. He didn't recruit the rest of those guys. They were Donnie Jones's recruits. Then you look at the talent now at UCF. You kind of wonder, is he going to be able to bring players in? They're very productive players. I really wasn't impressed with the talent, especially. Kyle Smith's not a bad player. The other guy, the transfer kid they had, Milan, I didn't think he was as good a player, really, actually, before. I mean, he's a shooter, but he can't guard a lot of times, can't defend, looks very slow. And then they just put guys in. They couldn't score. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. There's no B.J. Taylors there, I'm telling you.
There's no Taco Fall.
No Taco Fall. Well, there's not many of those anyway. But they could score. They had guys that could score last year. You know, Terrell Allen transferred. That was another thing happened to him. He was going to be their point guard. He came in April and said, you know what, I'm just going to go to Georgetown. See you later. Well, that put him in a bind. They go out and get the kid from Alabama, who I thought had a very mediocre game for a guy that's got 96 games previously before he got over there. It's a weird situation. That UCF team, to me, doesn't mix together very well. There are a lot of odd components that I think he's having trouble placing together. But that said, the Tigers got great performance out of Lance Thomas, Precious, another double-double, which is like money in the bank. You put in draws interest. But then you got a couple of other guys that struggle. DJ Jeffries really struggled mightily the other night. I don't know. He never really got into a groove. It didn't seem like. Took some questionable shots at times. I think he rushed some shots, and 0 of 5 from the field, 0 of 1 from 3. Then you got Boogie starting out great early, and then second half, I don't know, he kind of reverted back a little bit. And the thing about him, and you and I talked about it a moment ago, off the ball, he's not near as good a player as he is with the ball. And that's the thing he has to. He did it in the first half. He kind of took charge early in the game.
He did.
And had the ball in his hands, and he did some nice things as well. Alex, again, struggled. I thought in the game the other night. I don't know if it's maybe lost some confidence a little bit right now because players go through streaks. You know, they'll go through streaks when that happens to them. But he just didn't get into it as well, and I think they realized early he didn't get a tremendous amount of minutes the other night as well. Actually, 0-2 from the field. Didn't look comfortable. He had that floater for a while, guys, where he'd go in and, 8 to 10, 12 feet right in the lane there. He would take and challenge people. He'd turn around and came back out last night. Didn't shoot that shot. Tyler didn't get many minutes. Nothing in the second half, basically. And so that's the thing. I guess searching again to get that right combination. And I guess the thing that kind of bothers you a little bit and upsets fans maybe a little bit, here we are, we're in February now, and you're having to kind of readjust things again. And I know you have to do it and tinker with things as you go along, but you kind of got to get that lineup set. And we're making the run now for the tournament. You're in February now. You made the turn now going into the back stretch for the tournament seating and everything. And there's a lot of important games coming up for this basketball team. And some of them are going to be difficult. You got to go to Cincinnati still. Man, they waylaid SMU the other night. This UConn team, we'll talk about in a little bit as we go along here, kind of a dangerous team, played with 7 guys the other night. They beat Temple by 15 points at home. You got to go to Hartford. Not an easy place to go to. It's hard to get to. It's not a great trip a lot of times. They're back-to-back on a 2-game swing, and we get to mid-February when that happens. That's going to be an interesting development as we go along. But tomorrow you've got a chance. You've got 3 in a row at home. This is a great opportunity now to get back on track against some teams you should be able to handle on your home court.
You better.
You go back to the home court, guys, again. Here we are. If you don't handle at home court, you certainly have problems. But Connecticut is a team that's got some potential parts that are, pretty good. They're a big team. They block shots. They're physical. Now, I don't know if that's going to make a difference. They're not a great shooting team and things like that. And they've had some injuries and things happen to them. But, Hurley's he's going to have fired up. After last year, he's pointed at this game. It's going to be very interesting to see how they react on Saturday.
Matt, you mentioned with Boogie, and certainly a lot better last couple of games. And if they are going to make the adjustment that they're going to put the ball into his hands because that's where he's more effective, then what for guys like Damian Baugh and Alex Lomax, what becomes their roles? Because it's not like they're spot-up shooters that are going to play off him. So how do they fit in then if Boogie's going to be the guy with the ball?
Well, what you do with them, they come in, they play defense and rebound and do things, and they're not going to be called on to score a tremendous amount. When you take Boogie out of the game, and then you can go to other options. You got guys that do it. Like DJ, he can score at the 3 spot. But Damian Baugh, and he struggled offensively this year. He's a guy that gets stuff in transition. He'll cause a turnover, and they'll get out and run with him as well. That's one thing you just have to say, hey, look, guys, this is going to be your role the rest of the year. Certainly if you got open shots and they're good or whatever, take them, but you're not going to be asked to score 8 to 10 points a game. Come in and play solid defense, handle the basketball, don't turn it over and things like that. But Boogie's firepower to shoot certainly makes a lot of difference with this team when he's done. That opens up a lot of things for them on the front line.
Got a text says tomorrow will be my first Tigers game to go to. I'll be honest with you, I really don't know what to expect. They're such a Jekyll and Hyde team. Hoping for the best, go Tigers.
Yeah, it really is. And it seemed Lester is the equation, too. The other night he was 1 of 4 for the field. Got in foul trouble.
Fouls.
Yeah, he got in foul trouble early. And he grabs at times, does things defensively, and gets in foul trouble. And that hurts, too, because, here you pencil him in, to be a guy that's going to start and play a ton of minutes. Well, he goes to the bench early, and then you got to kind of shuffle the lineup.
But are they Jekyll and Hyde? Are they what this person's described?
Well, I think you don't know what they're going to do all the time, be honest with you. Because they're young. They're still young. I know people keep saying, oh, no, they're still young players. How many times have you guys seen around the country freshman teams that are dominated by freshmen? They'll look great one night. The next 2 games, right. They're not consistent, Greg. And I think that's the thing right now about them. I do think finally you're going to get the rotation probably cemented. And if Lance, now he's going to get a chance, and let's see if he can continue. I'm not saying he's going to get 20 points every time out, but if he rebounds, gives them 6, 8, 10 points and some rebounds, that would be a tremendous lift. Takes a lot of attention off of Achua where he can do things. I did think the other night for Precious, I know the NBA is probably going to play the 4 spot, but you put him out there at times, and he's not, I guess, skilled enough right now to put the ball on the floor a lot of times. He'll force things at times trying to do that, or he'll go out and shoot a a shot that maybe he normally wouldn't take. And I don't know if he's just pressing or whatever, because that's hard, because he's been down in the paint area. And he said to us again, like we were talking about, Greg and Eli,